knowledge and perspective on hot topics surrounding our community with emphasis on personal and leadership development. This show is inspiring, informative, and entertaining. You never want to miss it. Now let's see what everyone is yakking about. The Yolanda and Cornelius Show. You may contact us through our website, www.trifoldoutreach.com, or by phone, 800-664-1793.
Welcome to the Yak, the Yolanda and Cornelius Show. I'm one of your hosts, Cornelius. The lovely Yolanda is not with me right now. As a matter of fact, her daughter is a graduate and will be graduating in about the next 2 hours. So we show her some love. But y'all, we have a special guests. Let me put the plural S on that today. One voice you might have heard and recognized. She's now adopted Tennessean. Yes. She's adopted Tennessean now. The lovely Miss Jacqueline. I call her Miss Jackie from KA Knowledge Academy. Is with us in the house. Yay! Also, but y'all, we brought her on because she has introduced me to this queen. Yes. One who has moved from brokenness to one who's truly blessed. And her story, y'all, needs to be shared. Her story needs to be seen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to speak that even before I introduce her as a person. We see a stage play coming. Stage play. Amen. We need a stage play out of this.
She's done it.
Okay.
She's done some other things. I don't know if she's got a stage play on this particular thing.
We need a stage play. Like we say in the church, after the next election from the choir, the next voice you will hear is Miss Sabrina Studnett.
Yes.
Hailing from the great city of Indianapolis. Hey, Miss Sabrina, how you doing?
Hi. I am wonderful.
Good. I am great. I'm with my co-host today. You know who I'm co-host.
Sabrina.
Yes, hello.
Well, hey, I met you through
virtually.
Virtually.
Everything's virtual.
Everything's virtual because of social distancing. I'm here. I'm in awe of what I see in front of me, from broken girls to reigning queens. Before we really get into all of that, first of all, the cover of this particular book is compelling. It's striking. It says everything. You never judge a book by its cover, but by looking at it, I cannot wait to share this with a woman's group.
We love that.
I'm just in awe of the graphics, the designs, all of that stuff that I see. Sabrina, welcome to the Yak, the Yolanda and Cornelius Show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, Miss Jackie's over here. She's trying to take pictures. There you go. Hey, we over here doing it. We are on intern and all of that. You hear me? But Miss Jackie.
Yes, sir.
First of all, introduce me, to Miss Sabrina.
Well, first of all, we just want to say thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk about the book and to talk about some of the things that we're doing in Indianapolis. Now, like you said, I'm an adopted Tennessean. I moved here in September. We work at Knowledge Academy. You've been so gracious, being a great community partner with our school, and you were our commencement speaker, so people can go, yes, give it up, give it up. And so if you want to see Pastor Cornelius's commencement speech to our graduates that was just last Friday, you can look on the Knowledge Academy website and see Pastor Cornelius's speech to our kids and our families from last Friday. And I think it will be also posted maybe on HIP Antioch. So there's going to be a couple spots that you can see Pastor Cornelius and his wonderful contribution to our school. And so he's been pestering me about being on radio, just pestering me. And so I told him Well, he just thinks he sees something that I should be doing. So, amen. Wow. We praise God for that. We praise God. Mm-hmm. And so I told him about Sabrina and this project that she has been working on. And Sabrina was so gracious to invite me to be one of the contributors to her book. Okay. And it's a compilation book. This is the second of compilation books that she has done. The first one was From Broken Boys to Reigning Kings. And this was a book. And Sabrina, you could talk about this to yourself. This was a book. And why don't you jump in and talk about your book, the first one?
Yeah, so our book, From Broken Boys to Reigning Kings, I actually, God gave me the vision of doing books because that's what, writing is what was one of my biggest tools of healing when my son passed away. And so it became one of and I always tell people the one gift in school that one of my teachers told me, you would never write, you would never be a good writer, you was going to be able to get by. And that one thing that my teacher told me I couldn't do is what God used to heal me during the time that I was getting, through the pain and the anguish of my son passing away. And so from that verse, okay, why can I use this to heal other people? I mean, I know for me it worked, and I know that me telling my story touched other people. Well, there's a lot of women and a lot of men who want to tell their story but may not have the platform to do it. So that's where the From Broken Boys to Reigning Kings was birthed, and then From Broken Girls to Reigning Queens. And it's a book. It's a compilation of people, of authors who would like to tell their story, their testimony, to help heal other people as well. And through that, I hopefully, and I know some of them have already said that going back through their story, it's also helped to heal some of the wounds that they've had. And I know that it's going to touch a lot of people. I just know that it will.
Miss Sabrina, I mean, I hear the passion in your voice. Mm-hmm. I sense it. I hear it. I am grateful that you have stepped out the box and turned, as God is allowing your mourning to be turned into joy. He's giving you beauty for ashes. Thank you for the books. Thank you for the Reigning Kings and Reigning Queens. I think people need to hear people's story. Mm-hmm. People really need to hear, Listen, we heard David's story. That's why we have Psalms 23.
That's exactly right.
And right. we hear Mary's story. We hear Martha's story. The Bible is a book of stories. Books from it, it's about people's stories. And those stories become our therapy. I heard what you said previously, and I hear what you say now. Losing a son, I mean...
Her only son, Pastor.
That's I don't even know. I'm like Job's friends. I have no words.
There aren't any.
Yeah.
I have no words to even. I don't. There's nothing I can say. I can just sit quietly.
Yeah.
And sob and cry and try to empathize. But if you haven't never been there,
oh my God, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to get into that a little bit, Sabrina? Tell Pastor and our audience today how that all happened.
Yes, so it was Father's Day, June, it was 2012, and it was on Father's Day, and the night before, my son and his brother went to a concert, and on their way home from the concert, they pulled up to a light, and someone pulled up next to them and just opened fire. They said it was hundreds of people on the street because the concert was sold out. And people had just kind of came out of the club and went on the streets and were kind of like hanging out. So we know that there was a lot of people who witnessed it, but no one's come forward. So his case is still unsolved. But through that, I see a lot of mothers going through the same thing. But not only that, I see a lot of young people who have this feeling of hopelessness, and that I think is what's causing them to not have any regard for life. Like if you don't have any hope, it's hard to have regard for other people's lives. So one of the things that I feel like that God is using this book for is hopefully to give hope to young ladies and young men, because whatever they're going through right now, it's just situational. It's not the end all and be all. If they can just see a blueprint or a way of getting out of what they're going through, it doesn't have to be what they don't have to stay there. And so a lot of our testimonies are, telling about when some of the experiences they've been through. But through the grace of God and through hard work and dedication and wanting to change, they've got out of that situation, and now they're successful in their own right. And I'm hoping that young people will read this book, young adults, young youth and young adults will read this book and say, hey, that might be where I am right now, but if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, because
I can get out of this.
Yes, we have so much. Sabrina is talking about how our young people don't seem to have the empathy for other people's lives anymore. There's so much killing and so much violence going on with our young people, and it's almost they become anesthetized to it. There's no shame, there's no dismay anymore. There's hardly any shock when you hear of young people killing each other. Now it's almost like it's a byword anymore. We've lost the shock value because so much of it is going on. And so when she lost her son, we went to the same church. We still are members of the same church. I have a church here, but my church is a New Life Worship Center in Indianapolis, and we go to the same church.
Okay.
And so I stood at that casket when her son was there. I was there, and our church was there to support her. So it's been a journey. It's been how many years, Sabrina? 5, 4?
It's going on 8 years.
8 years. The time goes by fast. So she's taken that blow, and it was a blow to lose your only child. It was a blow. To now take it and change it into something that will possibly help somebody. And so our book, the book that we're doing now,
From Broken Girls to Reigning Queens.
Absolutely.
Right, I had to plug it in.
Sabrina, you want to talk about your contribution? Did you write a contribution to this one, or did you just gather the authors?
I just gathered the authors of this book. I was just kind of like the catalyst that brought everybody together. And, the great experience with that was as I talked to each person individually and they told me their story, it was a confirmation that it was time for them to tell their story, to give their testimony. And so everyone was handpicked. I spoke with everyone personally. I listened to them personally. I had conversations with them personally. And so I think that's another reason why I just know that this book is meant to touch the heart of, a lot of people, because everyone was handpicked and it was their time. It was their time to tell their story, to give their testimony.
Now help me, before we get into this particular text, help me with the Reigning Kings. Was it done by a collaborative group of people, or it was just you?
So from Broken Boys to Reigning Kings.
Yes, ma'am.
That was done by a group of men who, again, I had conversations with, and they're from the community, and they're successful in their own right, and they were ready to tell their story. So same concept for both books.
Help me out. Now, the Broken Boys to Reigning Kings is already published, correct?
Yes, it's already published and out, and we actually had their book signing last June, I believe it was. So it's been almost a year.
Well, how do we get our hands on that?
Amen.
Yes, this is an opportunity.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So you can email me. We're in the process of getting our website up, and that should be up within the next month. So that's under construction now. But we're getting our website up, and people will be able to order from there. But until then, they can email me personally and request a copy, and I can send it to them. And I don't know if you want me to give my email address out right now, but we can definitely publish my email address, and they can reach out to me and get a copy of the book.
I mean, that's up. I'm looking at your email, but if you want to give it out, that's on you. Like I said, hey, I'm not going to, do something that you might not want, publicize at this particular moment. So, hey, that's on you if you want to share your email. But
do you want to, Sabrina?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so you can email me at Sabrina, and that's Sabrinna, Stenetti, STENNETTE, @gmail.com.
Okay.
Sabrina Stenetti at gmail.com. Sabrina Stenetti at gmail.com. Miss Sabrina, I'm like in awe. This conversation, First of all, it's nostalgia to some degree for me. My mama's only child. And I had a car wreck.
Feel that.
Yeah. I had a car wreck in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And I was almost, some people had given up on me. So I've almost been there, my mom had to sit in that waiting room not knowing.
Right. It's a hard thing.
Yeah, so our relationship definitely is different now, even though I'm grown, and that happened in 1992. But the boys want to pull away from their mothers at some point. We got to be boys. We got to get away from mom. But your courage, to tell this story, to bring these women together whose stories need to be, seen, shared, heard. I'm telling you, this book is going to be revolutionary. It's going to change lives. It's going to give people hope. It's going to give people purpose again, because we can go from, brokenness to reigning queens. And a lot of us have been broken, and we've all experienced some brokenness in our life. So for you to just step out and do what you have done with the kings and queens, kudos.
Thank you. Thank you. And I thank all the contributing authors, too, because if they weren't ready to tell their story, I don't think the books will be as impactful as they are. Or the men's is going great, and I know the women's is even going to surpass all of that, because I just feel like, again, when you're ready to tell your testimony and ready to walk out there on faith and know that you're going to impact people, it really resonates with people. So I really am excited about it.
And you have to shake off shame, because some of the things that we've gone through, that we tell these stories, are some of the things that we've gone through, you don't want to talk about it because you're embarrassed and all of that. And so it does take courage to just go ahead and talk about whatever it is that you have gone through, the different things that you discuss. It does. It takes a little courage. I'm a contributing writer, so I'm really excited that Sabrina asked me to be a part of the book, because I love writing. And mine is about the gap in my teeth.
Yeah,
it's about the gap in my teeth.
You told me the story. Yes.
And when I was growing up, they called it a lie gap.
You lied all the time.
No, see, I know. Well, but that's part of it, because I thought, my God, am I a liar because of this gap in my teeth? And that's what I grew up with, not knowing that in Africa, I carried that all through my childhood, my young preteen years and all of that, until I was reading an article in Essence magazine that said it was a beauty mark in Africa.
Wow.
And I was like, well, when did this get distorted like that? And then started trying to just research that. And so my part of the book is about that. So it's just amazing what little things can come and can wreck you. Our pastor always says it's not what you go through, but it's how it leaves you. That's what the devil's after. It's not what you go through, but it's how it leaves you. Does it leave you wrecked and destroyed? That's what he's after.
That's a good word. I like that. It's not what you go through, but it's how it leaves you.
How did it leave you?
How did it leave you?
And so my book is about that, and how we turn that lie gap to a thing of beauty.
See?
We thank God for that.
I'm just in awe. I'm just in awe. Sabrina, tell us again. You were moved by tragedy, and it moved you to triumph. And these books now have become therapy. And it's more Sabrina's Stinetti. Is it Stinnett or Stinetti?
Stinetti.
It's more. It's a plethora of Sabrina Stinettis in this world. And I'm telling you, Sabrina, people need to see this in some type of monologue.
Yeah.
Sabrina, you have to.
You have it down now.
You have been given this. You listen. Let me say it this way: as a pastor, you are now somewhat responsible for somebody's healing.
Wow.
You hear me? And we haven't even met yet physically. We just phone come, but you are responsible now for somebody's healing. Somebody is literally going to be healed and set free from this. As a matter of fact, my sister, she has a group in Tennessee, south of here, called Grace. It's an acronym. Don't get me to telling a fib. I can't remember all the acronyms, but the words. But I will definitely get this book to her, and it can be part of her mentoring group.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Oh, that'd be amazing, yeah.
Oh, why not? I mean, to bring y'all together. People got to understand,
Yes.
you know, here's what my mother taught me. Hurt does nothing but hurt. But she also said hurt recognizes hurt.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And those who have been healed can help the hurt.
Well, we're looking for every opportunity that we can to let people know about the book. I don't think Sabrina or myself or any of our sister writers are looking to be rich. That's not what this is. It's ministry. It's ministry. It's a ministry opportunity to be able to tell. Sabrina lost her son. My son was killed in a car wreck, and so that kind of a pain is just hard. And you can. Pastor says you can choose how you're going to let something, how it's going to affect you. Either you can nurse it, you can reverse it, you can hurt, how do you say it, Sabrina? How's Pastor say that? You can nurse it or you can reverse it.
Okay.
Reverse it, yeah.
You can either take that pain and hold on into it and go into a black hole and stay down in there, or you can reverse it and take it and use it to bless somebody.
Yes.
And so that's our hope.
Wow. Sabrina Stinetti.
That's our hope.
Let's reverse somebody's hurt.
Sorrow, yes.
Let's reverse somebody's sorrow. Let's reverse someone's sadness. Let's reverse someone's shame. Let's reverse it. And from broken girls to reigning queens.
Absolutely.
It's definitely, I think, a reverse mechanism. Now, before we close, middle school, high school, and up, what do y'all say this reading materials for? High school?
I would say definitely even middle school, because now it's so much bullying and it's so many things that go on now for kids at a very young age that they can easily see themselves in. And we can reverse the hurt early, then they don't have to go through their whole lives trying to figure out why they do some of the things that they do, because they don't, they haven't identified the hurt in their body. So I say early.
Okay.
Yeah, because unfortunately, I'm at a school and our little ones aren't so little anymore. Unfortunately, they are learning things and being exposed to things that we didn't think about being exposed to when we were their age. Hey, Sabrina, our girls are growing up way, way, way too fast now. And so you almost have to introduce things that are maybe what we thought was not age appropriate. We've been forced to be age appropriate now to try to save some of our kids. I mean, they're seeing things way too soon. So we got to jump in and try to stem the tide and make it go another way. So
my grandma used to say they're born with their eyes open.
Yeah.
But now children are literally born with their eyes open.
It's unfortunate.
Like literally come out and they're just looking like selfie. Yeah. Like, let's do this.
Yes, sir.
You don't. When we were kids, 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, knock at the door, 5, 6, pick up 6, 7, 8, stay up late, 9, 10. You don't even hear that type of stuff.
Oh, we twerking now.
We
twerking.
Double dutch.
Yeah,
we twerking now, and don't know that we are missing
childhood,
that the innocence, that you need.
So sad.
You need a compartment in your life to say this is innocent. You do not need every filter does not need to be filled with frustration and fueled by hate and anger and disappointment.
That's right.
And our children just don't have that anymore. They come in the world fighting, they fight, we see trauma. That's what I use. We see trauma at an early age.
We do, but the whole goal of why you are in the pulpit every Sunday, the reason why you're in this church beating out that word every Wednesday or whenever you have Bible study, the reason why we're spending our spare moments putting this book together, writing into the wee hours of the night. I think what we were texting last night was 11:30 last night. Sabrina. trying to get some things done, because there's a mandate, because there is something that the Lord would have us do with our experiences and with our stories. And we're looking to see God do great things. We don't want to leave this on a negative at all. We're looking to see God do great things, save some children, turn some children, mold some hurt people, bring some women that may have thought that their life was over, who may think they have made the ultimate mistake, who may think that they have just crashed and burned. Not at all. You've got 7 women writers in this book that'll tell you not at all, that there have been things that they have gone through. It looked like a crash and burn. It looked like it was the end, but our stories are here to tell you that God can sure change things. He can make things for your good. He can turn things for your good.
What was that your pastor said? Nurse it or reverse it?
Reverse it.
Okay.
Right.
Nurse it or reverse it.
There's a third. I'm going to have to find out. There's a third piece to that. I'll let you know.
Third piece?
Well, and I would have to say, from speaking with young men, when this first happened with my son, I used to go out and speak a lot to groups of young men. And what I learned was my transparency, it got their attention. And then the word helped the healing. And so once you can get their attention with your transparency, which I think that's the best thing about this book, is that we are showing our scars. We're not saying, oh, we never did that before, and I don't know what you're talking about and why you're doing that. We're saying, look, we've been through this. We the same scars we have natural scars. But by the grace of God, this is a blueprint that I can give you to say you don't have to stay there. You can move forward and not stay in it and do something better. Make different choices.
That's right.
All those types of things that will make their life better. We're trying to expose those things to them. So once you show them your transparency, it gets their attention, and then they're willing to listen to the words that you're saying, and then you can grab their attention, and then they're listening, and they're digesting, and they're applying, and then that's when you start to get them moving in the right direction. And so that's what I found, is being transparent and raw. It opens up that whole door to them seeing what it is you're really trying to say.
Amen. Well, Miss Sabrina Stinetti, I thank you. I thank you for not only one, but 2. I thank you for your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th interview already. You got to slip that in.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to come to Indianapolis again.
Yes.
I was up there back in the fall. I was at a soul food restaurant.
It would probably have to be.
It was over there it wouldn't. Oh my God.
It's probably going to be Country Kitchen.
Country Kitchen.
Oh, yeah. My friend Cynthia.
It has to be
it has to be.
Yeah.
Because my friend
Cynthia. There's only like 1 or 2 real good ones.
Yeah, then there's some reasonable facsimiles. But,
reasonable facsimiles.
But Country Kitchen's top of the line. That's the one I do love going to. And she's my friends, Cynthia and her husband, Isaac, own that. Matter of fact, they had a fire not too long ago. So I think they're on the way to mending and rebuilding. So.
Yeah.
Good spot to go to.
Yeah, country. Yeah, that was it.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it. Well, Miss Sabrina Stinetti, please give them your Gmail again, and then we're going to get out of here. And we thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much. And thank you too, Jackie.
Oh, no, you're welcome. And give that email address one more time for people that want the book.
Okay, it's Sabrina, Sabrina, Stinetti, Stennette, @gmail.com.
And we are doing pre-sales right now. Is that correct?
We're in pre-sale season right now, and then we will have our date for our launch